When a snake encounters prey 3 or 4 times wider than its own head, logic suggests the meal should be impossible. A solid object that large forced into a small, fragile opening should instantly snap bones and rupture organs, yet the snake swallows it whole. The widely accepted explanation for this feat is that snakes unhinge or dislocate their jaws to get the job done. A true dislocation is a severe physical injury where bones separate forcibly, often tearing ligaments and surrounding tissue. In snakes, these joints stay fully attached and functional throughout the entire process. This adaptation bypasses the specific biological barriers of geometry, suffocation, and cellular rupture that restrict nearly every other vertebrate predator. The first obstacle is pure geometry, fitting a massive object through a rigid skull. Mammal skulls are fused solid at the chin. A snake's lower jaw, made up of 2 separate bones called mandibles, is entirely unfused. The 2 halves are connected only by a highly elastic ligament that stretches like a thick rubber band, allowing the left and right sides of the mouth to separate. At the back of the skull, a specialized hinge called the quadrate bone connects the lower jaw to the head. This bone swings outward and downward, dropping the floor of the mouth to create a massive cavern. With the jaw stretched wide, the snake executes a motion called the pterygoid walk. Rows of backward curving teeth lock into the prey. As one side of the jaw pulls the mass backward, the other side advances, ratcheting the head forward over the meal. The combination of a stretchy chin ligament and independent jaw movements allows the snake to ignore the mouth size limitations found in most other vertebrates. Pulling a giant meal into the throat creates the second bottleneck. The prey completely blocks the airway and presses heavily against the chest cavity. This diagram shows the solution to a blocked airway. The bottom tube, labeled trachea, is the glottis. Acting as a built-in snorkel, it extends past the blockage, pulling fresh air into the lungs. Once the prey moves into the digestive tract, its sheer bulk crushes against the snake's ribs, physically preventing the lungs from expanding. To survive this, snakes use a process called modular lung ventilation, deactivating rib muscles around the heavy blockage, and use the muscles further down their body to draw air into the uncompressed sections of the lungs. By isolating its breathing mechanics from its mouth and the blocked portions of its ribs, the snake removes the risk of choking. The final barrier is physical transport. The snake must force this enormous mass into its stomach without tearing its own skin or internal organs. This schematic illustrates 4 phases of post-cranial transport. As prey moves past the head, body muscles take over. The snake flexes its spine and ribs in an alternating wave, pushing the prey downward. This inside-out locomotion squeezes the mass through the esophagus. To accommodate this moving bulge, the snake's skin and muscle cells must endure intense physical distortion. Inside muscles, microscopic sarcomeres contain overlapping protein filaments. As the meal passes, they stretch completely past their normal overlap zones, a state that would permanently tear human tissue. Fortunately, elastic Titin proteins hold the structure together, pulling filaments back to their resting positions without damage. Integrating these elastic proteins into its cellular structure, the snake's body expands into a dynamic sleeve, capable of resetting its anatomy after extreme physical distortion. Once the prey reaches the stomach, the visible bulge settles, and the snake begins the long process of chemical digestion. As ambush predators, snakes may go weeks or months without crossing paths with a viable meal. The kinetic skull, the tracheal snorkel, and the hyperelastic tissues work in unison to secure months of energy from a single encounter. This extreme expansion follows a highly choreographed sequence, allowing the predator to process prey far beyond its resting dimensions. By decoupling its breathing from its feeding and its skeleton from its chin, the snake achieves a degree of efficiency that allows a legless predator to consume the largest meals in the vertebrate world.